In this video, I'm going to show you how to use both trend and seasonality in the same problem. So we have 10 years of data here by months. The first thing I need to know is my average month. And then I'm going to need to know what I call my average season. The average month is equals average of all of our data. We want to make that an absolute reference by using the F4 key. Remember, if that doesn't work, try holding function F4, and then for you Mac users, Command T. So then I'm going to autofill that down, grab my autofill handle, drag down. For average season, it's just going to be the average of each individual season. In this instance, our seasons are months. And I'm not locking that reference. That's remaining a relative reference, and we can autofill that down. I'm going to get rid of a couple of decimal points here, just to make things a little smaller. Apparently Excel doesn't want to get rid of any, so we'll ignore that for a bit. Make my column width a little bit narrower here. All right, so once I have that, one way to check, before I do that, actually, I'm going to divide average season by average month, and that gives me my seasonal index. Now, a couple of ways to check this. I'm going to take the sum of my seasonal index. I have 12 months, 12 seasons, therefore this should be exactly 12. All right, I can highlight seasonal index color scales. I'll use the upper left one for consistency. Average season, upper left one for consistency. And all of my data here. We can see this item is green. We see a consistent green line across, consistent red line across, and this equals 12. That makes us believe that we've done this correctly so far. Then I need to figure out my annual demand. That's going to be the sum of all of the demand. Notice if I click on auto sum, it's grabbing the year. Make sure you're not grabbing the year. You're just grabbing the sales data. Autofill that over. Okay. So then one of the things I can do here is I can graph this. So I'm going to highlight this, insert, go to my scatter plot. Let's zoom in and take a look at this a little bit. So I can right click on one of these data points, add my trend line, display equation and R squared. I'll make that a little larger so you can see it. Autofill it so you can see it. Maybe not so dark of a gray. So my slope is 17. Each additional year I'm increasing by 17. And on year 0, I am selling 3,711. So for year 11, in year 11, because we have 10 years of data, I multiply year 11 times 17.842, and then I'm going to add that to 3,711, so about 3,907. If I insert a shape here, and I find year 11, and that looks to be on the line there, so that is just a little bit above 3,900, right? A little bit above 3,900 there, which is where that is at. Another way to do this is use forecast.linear. My X, I want to predict for the year 2025. My known Y's, that's going to be my demand. And my X's, I have to use my years, not just year 1, 2, 3, right? We use my calendar years. And there we go. We'll get the same answer. Minor rounding error in this one. This one's more precise. And then I'm going to take that number, my annual demand. I'm going to F4, again, make that an absolute reference, divided by number of periods, which is 12. Autofill that down. So in an average month, I'm going to sell 325 units, whatever it is, right? So to adjust that for seasonality, I multiply it by the seasonal index. And again, we can see we're selling more in the high months and less in the low months. And if I use conditional formatting, color scales, upper left again, we can see that my red line remains consistent and my green line remains consistent. So then quiz or exam questions will simply ask you, what is the seasonally adjusted forecast for one of the periods? We'll say it's June, and the correct answer will be 494.313. Let me know if you have questions.